That's right. Our motto is we don't get started until everything is right. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know why we do that? Because I know some of you are saying, pues usted, ¿qué pasó con las 8 o'clock y las 8 de la noche? Que quién sabe qué, it's 8:45 already, que la chingada esto, lo otro. We want to give all of you some quality entertainment, and we want it to sound good and look good. And that's why we were taking a little bit of time here, folks, because we had some technical issues. Pero our Curtis Mathis television was, remember that, bro?
Was acting up.
Be just Curtis Mathis. Do they even have Curtis Mathis anymore?
No, it doesn't exist anymore. That's a reference from the early 80s.
Simon. That's when the televisions looked like coffins, right?
Yeah.
They were on the floor.
So what happened, this is how we fixed it, and this is not a lie. So James went to the back of the television, took out the flux capacitor, licked it. He literally, right?
He did.
He started licking equipment.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And you forgot the part where he rubbed it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little foreplay involved.
And then I was blowing on it. I was blowing on it a little bit.
You can't just jump right in.
And then I was poking its prostate as well. And just kidding.
God.
Would you? Yeah,
I was pressing the prostate.
You touch the girders and you say, "Would you please cough?"
What?
the girding system,
and it worked. It just needed a little bit of TLC, ladies and gentlemen.
So, round of applause.
That's what it was.
And here at PVT, Rock is the owner, custodian, engineer, and foreplay expert.
Yeah, expert, papa.
Thanks to Dr. T.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, want to thank, before anything, welcome to #PVT Live on a Wednesday night. We got a great show coming up, man. It's going to be fantastic. And we want to thank Top Floor Cars Classic Car Dealership, Brenham, Texas. New, bigger location at 301 South Market Street in Brenham. Consignments. If you have a vehicle you want to sell, it's a classic. You just talk to them and they'll put it on their lot there. Look at it, man. They've got that 57. Is that a 55? That's a 55. They got a nice little truck right there. They've got all kinds of awesome vehicles. All you have to do is go by, talk to them, or go to their website at topfloorcars.com. Check out all their inventory. These guys always got that's a 55, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and then look at that. That's a 66, I think, right there. That's a classic car right there. 63 Buick Skylark. And then you've got that four-wheel Bronco. Man, that's an awesome Bronco. It looks like the one that belonged to Lone Wolf McQuaid. Right?
It does, right?
When they buried him with,
right? Yeah.
And he just puts it in freaking over, and it goes out of the ground and
but
shit.
But first, he has to drink a beer.
Yeah, he does, right? He drinks a beer inside, dude. Have you all ever seen Lone Wolf McQuaid, dude? Chuck Norris?
I don't think so.
Bro, man, what a...
bro.
I think I was still floating around somewhere.
I think that movie's still in drive-in theaters, I think.
It should be. Classic.
So, Top Floor Cars, Classic Car Dealership. Shout out to Tony, Carlos, everybody in Brenham. Good friends, and their trucks have sold worldwide from Germany to Australia and all over the United States of America. You give them a call, that number right there on your screen, or go to their website, check out their inventory, talk to them, and they'll work with you to get that car, that classic car, so you can show off to everybody, all right? Also want to thank Law for Y'all, all right?
Yeah.
As you can see right here in the back of my little script here, it's a law and then it's a for y'all.com.
Let me give him a close-up.
Attorney Crystal Sauceda Johnson, man. And at first, Crystal dedicated her career in the motion film industry, negotiating with leading companies such as 20th Century Fox, Universal, Warner Brothers, Sony, Disney, Lionsgate, and many others. You know, I'd like to sit her down here one day and talk to her about that. That's very intriguing to me, the Hollywood industry and all that.
Quite a resume.
Yeah. And will this help spark a passion in her soul for helping others, which led her to earn a Juris Doctorate from St. Mary's University School of Law, providing the opportunity for Crystal to build valued relationships with clients through impactful, turbulent, and stressful times. Of course, nobody wants to go through that. And now she's created an estate planning and will tour.
Wow.
All right.
That is a must.
She helps people out in preparing all the paperwork to protect what their legacy and assets, or protect their legacy and assets after death. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this first, in a first person, I remember a family next door, one of the patriarch passed away, right? Se murió el papá y no dejó nada de will, estate, nada. Y tenía como 9 chavalos y una hija.
My goodness.
Y se comenzaron a pelear por pictures, por todo, porque el papá no dejó nada en papel o nada.
That is scary.
Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. If you have older parents, do you know what's going to happen? Do they have everything set up? Do you know what's going on in their financial life? Do you know what's happening? What's going to happen after they pass away? You don't have any idea. You need to get on this website. And it's lawforyall.com, all right? It's right there on the back, right there. You see it on the screen. I want you to go on there. If you have any questions, you talk to Crystal Sauceda Johnson, and she will help you out. And she'll have all the information you need to start working on an estate and will planning. And it's something that must be done. And I know sometimes we as children to our parents don't want to talk about it because it's kind of morbid, right? About after they pass away, you know.
And I think it's part of our culture too, right? We avoid it, but I think it needs to be an open dialogue because it's necessary.
Hey, jefe, pues ¿qué vamos a hacer cuando te mueras? Y es, ya me estás matando, ¿qué carnal, qué onda? You know, no, Dad. It's just like you never know.
Yeah. And then what happens, Rock, is they take the family safe with all the jewels. And then they hang it from a ceiling. And then whatever family member climbs the ladder.
Yeah. It's como money in the bank.
It turns into it turns into WWE.
All right, we're going to put the briefcase with all the stuff in the middle of the ring and suspended in midair.
The family jewels.
And the family can just fight it out with ladders, tables, and chairs.
And then you end up living a real life Springer episode.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right? They're running in circles and fighting over. Don't put yourself in that scenario.
You know what? It's interesting, but I bet everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people that are watching right now probably know somebody who's gone through this bullshit.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to go through it. You want to make sure everything's prepared. So if anything happens, your dad, your mom, you're taken care of. Everybody's taken care of, and it's fair and square. And you got to do it through lawforyall.com. Get on that website or give that number a call, 210-893-LAW, which is a 529. And talk to them, all right? Lawforyall.com, all right?
And not only that, she's in the artist and entertainment industry as well. She's my attorney.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, that's great, man.
Nice.
I mean, you know, she's dealt with the big motion picture production companies. And
then the guy in the back, the drummer.
Yeah. No, it's always good to have some good representation.
Yeah,
Shout out to Julian and
Crystal,
his wife, Crystal. And we appreciate their support right here on #PVT. Ladies and gentlemen, get a hold of them and start planning this estate and will and all that stuff. That way, when something happens, you know what's going to happen. You know, you're not going to have any surprises. All right?
And just for the record, if you want to donate your wrestling masks to me, that's it. Just the wrestling masks. And Rock will take the action figures.
I already put all my comic books under my wife's name, so she's going to get all my comic books.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so
congratulations, man.
Thank you. I'm extremely excited.
My albums, I'm still thinking about it, Chaz. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. Just got the new Iron Maiden live number of the Beast, you know, something. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've got my lovely wife. She's a producer, production girl. Rally, what's going on, Rally?
A shout out to all the ladies on the chat zone, Belinda Adames, and of course the gentlemen, Sebastian Silva, Jose Z1, Sal in the house, Mart, and everyone else. What's up, guys?
It's todo. And we've got Chaz Corona. What's up, Chaz?
Chaz Corona here. And check out the chat zone went from 0 to 100 in about 20 seconds.
That's great.
Shout out to Sebastian Silva from Odessa. And then Emilio Anaya, also from Odessa. There's Odessa squared. Gil Cortez from Grand Prairie. And then Gerardo Huerta from Califas. And then Jose's in Kerrville. And then Victor Garcia's in Eagle Lake. The Lone Star State, well represented. And thanks for hanging out on this Wednesday. And let me know if you have any questions for our guests today on #PVT.
The fastest way, and if you want your question asked for sure, the best way to do it is to drop us one of those super chats. and if it's $1, $5, whatever you put in, it'll bring your question and it'll save it on top of the chat for Chaz, and he'll be able to see it, and then he'll be able to ask a question or comment. And we got Aaron Holler here from Asalto. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, bro?
It's a pleasure to be back for the second time.
I know, bro.
I guess I did a good job the first time, right? You brought me back for a rerun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because a lot happens with you in a very short span of time.
Unfortunately,
I mean, you're a very busy guy, and you hop around a lot with bands and stuff like that.
Well,
so,
I mean, the world doesn't stop turning, so I got to keep up.
That's right.
You do you, bro.
You
That's
got
what
to.
it's all
You got
about,
to.
man. You know what I mean? If you got talent and you want to spread it around, you do it. And who
Absolutely.
did you bring with you today,
I've
bro?
got my homeboy over here, leader, front man from Grupo Asalto, Mr. Jordan Rodriguez, Snyder in the house.
I'll buy
West
those.
Texas.
I'll buy those shades off of you, bro. I need some shades like that, bro. Chingao.
Every show, someone tries to buy them. Every show.
How much were they, bro?
I think like $90 with taxes.
I'll give you $91.
No, so we played in Colorado, and this guy goes, "I'll give you $400 for your shades."
And you
I'm
said
like-
no?
I said no.
Why, dude? You could have bought 3 pairs.
That's exactly what my wife said. That's the same thing she
Listen
said.
to this. Now we know who the smart person in the relationship is. Not just
Right.
kidding.
They say
No.
always listen to the wife.
So what happened, man? You didn't sell them, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're mine. What was I supposed to leave with?
Well, I go to Circle K and buy a quick pair to get you home, and then you buy those.
Nah,
I
man.
said, babe, would you have wanted me to sell my shades for $400 if they cost me $90?
Yes, because you could have bought me a pair.
Bro.
With the
What brand?
$400.
What brand is that?
What are these?
Ray-Ban?
They're Quay.
They're Quay. Oh, those
Quay.
are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
key.
some of those, man.
It's key.
Key.
Pronounced.
I have some
Oh,
that I got
it's-
from the
it's
boys that
pronounced-
it's called. They're called Ways.
Hold on. What is it? Key? You pronounce it Key?
Key or Way?
Tell I thought-
it's-
Key Way.
Go no way.
Hey, dude, I got a high rolling girl over here, bro. You know, she knows all those names, bro.
Man.
You know, it's not
we
Quay.
bought,
Way.
we bought,
Wait,
yeah, no,
key.
we bought some of those for Christmas for all the girls. Remember, all
Yeah.
the ladies in our family.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember.
Chingos de feria.
It's Quay, right?
Right, but it's
Yeah.
pronounced key.
How the hell does that happen?
How does that happen?
That's
It's
why
like-
you got to stick with Ray-Ban. You can't mess that one up.
Right. Or Oakley.
It's like Arkansas. It's Arkansas, right?
Arkansas.
I mean,
I've
what the
always
hell is
said
that all
Arkansas.
about, bro?
I don't know.
I mean, say the shit right?
Or the singer Sade. SADE? I mean, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
That doesn't make any
Sade.
sense.
Shade.
Sade.
All these
shade.
smooth operators getting it wrong, dude. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a song from Sade.
Yes.
But Jordan, he's part of the band, huh?
No, he is the band.
Oh, he is a band. So Asalto is your band?
Yes, sir. It sure is.
Orale. I thought it was like sort of a collaboration. How long has Asalto been around, bro?
So for a little over 2 years, I've had
Okay.
Asalto. Yes, sir.
I saw the first time I saw you guys was on a it's a music video for Gabriela Martinez. You all did it. It looked like you were doing it in Luckenbach or something, or it was an outdoor place or something with a little house or
It
something.
was somewhere on the outskirts of Corpus. I can't remember exactly where, but yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
out there.
How did that collaboration happen, man?
So actually, man, the way that happened was I met Gabriella quite some time ago, and we had talked about doing some things together, but it never really happened. We started doing some shows together, and she's like, "Hey, I want you guys to be on this song," and I'm like, "Cool, what's up with it?" And so, you know, while she was in the studio, I believe she had just barely finished talking to Frankie J, because he's actually the one that translated the song.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Grupo Visión had already recorded this song, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And so she redid it. And so I told her, yeah, I've heard that song, whatever. She's like, well, yeah, Frankie wants me to sing it. And I'm like, cool, what's up? You know, I'm down. And so she was actually in the studio with Mariano, and she was like, hey, what do you think of this? And I'm like, cool, let's go. So from there, it just went on, man. Me and Gabriella, we became really good friends, and we still maintain that friendship. And it's just, it's always an honor to be able to collab with anybody in our industry, honestly.
Well, that's what it's all about nowadays. Even in the rap and hip hop industry.
Absolutely.
That's what they do. They collab. I remember listening to the hip hop station on Sirius XM, and you'd have every song would be like 4 different artists, you know, put together.
Yes, sir.
In the rap, and you know that's what happens now, because out of the collaboration you get the fan base of 2 different you know, audiences come together to see one.
Right.
You know, just like Frontera and freaking Bad Bunny, dude. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
yes, sir.
That was huge, you know. And so on that video that you did with Gabriela Martinez, Aaron wasn't on it, or was he?
He was in parts and pieces.
Yeah, I was in pieces.
Okay.
So they filmed obviously the one that's out in the country, and they got some live footage because we performed in Corpus that night. So
Okay.
obviously I was playing drums for that, but I couldn't make the shoot during the day. I had
Oh, you
prior
couldn't?
obligations.
Okay. Yeah, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And most of the time.
So how long has Aaron been with you, or how did that end up happening, dude?
So how Aaron actually ended up coming to the band was, we did the $1 Million Band together, right?
Yeah. And
Yes.
Then,
So that was
back to the Diva Mania thing.
There
That's
you go,
right.
Diva Mania. We were
And
part
what
of
was Diva Mania? What was that? Is it the girls?
that was Jim Luna.
Stephanie?
Yeah, Jim Luna's event that he had there in Angleton.
Okay.
And
At Angleton or Angleton? What it was? Where was this at?
it was in Angleton.
Angleton, Texas.
Yes.
Yes.
Orale.
And so actually, he was the drummer for the $1 Million Band. And Mario Ortiz called me up. He said, "Hey, you want to play accordion?" And of course, I'm like, well, yeah, because at this point, a lot of people really, up to now, still don't know who I am. I'm just a small West Texas dude that's always played in West Texas. And so, whenever this opportunity came up for me, I'm like, yeah, well, for sure, I'm going to do it. And so, of course, I walk into the room and I'm all timid and stuff. I'm all quiet. And I'm really not a quiet person, but it's just the fact when I walk into a room of people that I really don't know, I'm not that loud.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I see Aaron Holler, which I had already met Aaron, bro, like 4 years prior, and he was the biggest asshole I've ever met in my life.
Oh my!
And so
He was?
Never.
he was. Now I realize that we're the same. But he was.
Why do you say that? What did he do? Did he
No,
like?
actually, like,
No, let him answer, bro. Come on, bro.
no, because I know exactly what he was talking about. And okay, go ahead, give your version of the story, and I'll speak from my version of the truth.
So,
¿Qué chingas te hizo Aaron Holler, carnal? Dilo ahorita, carnal.
Never.
So here's the story. So growing up,
Pon los dos ahí en la screen, baby. Órale.
growing up, we had a family band called Conjunto Mi Gusto.
Okay.
And we played a bunch of, private events around West Texas, whatever. So,
We is you and your dad and your mom? Or
yeah,
what?
me, my dad, and my brothers.
Oh, órale, carnal.
And so we actually show up to this one quinceañera, and they're like, hey, we haven't told nobody, but Jay Pettis is closing the show. And so I'm like, oh, well, shoot. At this point, my dad's like, hey, well, y'all didn't tell us, this is our sound, and we don't know. We weren't set up for extra people. Whatever.
Yeah, well, this sounds for rent, son.
Yeah, so,
eh?
exactly. So that's how it ended up turning out. Well, then my brother gets all excited. He plays drum. He talks for us now, but he played drums. And he's like, oh, bro, Aaron's going to show up. He's going to play on my drums and blah, blah, whatever. Well, we had what was that, Aaron? A 7-piece? 1, 2, 3. 3 toms up top and then 2 bottom. But we only had 3 mics.
Uh-huh.
So, we, 1 mic between each toms. So
Llegó Neil Peart con la drum set y la chingada.
Exactly.
with one microphone.
With one micro.
Hey.
Just suspended in the middle of the whole thing, right?
So anyway, Aaron shows up and he walks up and goes, man, what the hell is this?
Uh-oh.
And so I'm like, hey, asshole, like we didn't even expect for you guys to be here, but whatever, it works, man. Just sit down and play. And like he was just kind of making his little remarks, and I'm like,
Pinche
all right,
snarky
cool.
de madre and smart ass este vato.
Yeah. So anyway, my brother's over here trying to say what's up to him and all kinds of other stuff, and he's like, "What's up, man?
Uh-oh.
Yo, what's up?"
One fuck.
Yeah.
What's up, you one mic motherfuckers? One mic.
What is mentiras?
Okay, tell your version.
First of all, there was zero interaction. Like, not trying to sound like arrogant, but I didn't even know he was in the room.
Oh my God!
So
Not trying to sound like arrogant.
So let's rewind
But he
to like
is.
the gig.
I'm not trying to sound arrogant, even though I'm going to sound arrogant. But
No,
Aaron
what I'm
get-
saying is I have zero recollection of having any conversation outside of like Jay Pettis camp, so musicians or roadies, whatever. So
it's because he didn't have the Kui glasses
You're right,
on,
at the
man.
time, so-
The key. Oh, the
Key.
key.
and he's wearing a
I'll never
cowboy
fucking-
hat and button up.
I'll never
Yeah,
fucking
cowboy
get
hat.
it.
So going back to it, more and more backstory. So you guys know that as you go to different venues, you're playing on house kits and provided instruments. It's not necessarily the best stuff around. There's no place like home playing on your own instrument and your own setup and all that stuff. So yeah, I apologize saying, hey, I'm sorry if I came across a certain way, because you get comfortable being around your people, and your people know that, you're not that type of guy. Like they, you know how you're joking with your friend, oh yeah, man, look at this dude or whatever,
Uh-oh.
just inside joke stuff. So
Yeah.
going back to it, I wasn't comfortable with the setup, and here I am talking to my own personal roadie, Mandito, at the time. It's like, really, man, like I got to work with this. Like I need to do my job to the best of my ability, and sometimes the tools aren't the best tools in the toolbox.
And plus, you got Jay Pettis as a boss, man.
Exactly.
He's gonna give you some shit about it too, right?
Right. So it's my fault from coming across a certain way because I didn't know who was all in the room. I should have done a better job at that, and I did apologize to him for this. Dude, I had no idea. Because that's not me. But when you get comfortable in your surroundings, you can let your guard down and, you don't look politically correct 100% of the time. So I own that one.
I want you to tell him I'm sorry right now.
I took that one on the chin.
Yeah. I want you to look at him, Aaron. I want you to say, I'm sorry, mijo.
I'm sorry, mijo.
So he did. Yeah, he did apologize, man. So then we fast forward to Diva Mania. And
how did that happen? Diva Mania was Shelly and what girls? Who was involved?
Yeah, so what is it? Jim Luna was the promoter.
Okay.
He's the one that got an entire group of women that he wanted to represent that were newer in the industry.
He's from San Antonio?
No, he's from the Angleton, Rockport, Corpus area.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Jim Luna.
Yeah, so Quarter Moon Productions. We were just working with them last week in Rockport. Anyways, Mario Ortiz was the musical director, and he was in charge of getting a house band together. And that's where they came with the name $1 Million Band. And we were joking, it's called the $1 Million General Band. Yeah. Once Jordan got in the band.
Once I got in the band, it turned to Dollar Tree.
No, I'm just kidding. So Mario Ortiz was in charge of getting the house band together to support all these girls. So, he reached out to me on drums.
Perfect.
And he filled out the rest of the instrument.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And like I said, we had met before, but never really crossed paths or worked together before.
Like what women were on there again? Was it?
So we had Magali.
Okay, Magali. De La Rosa, I think her name was?
Yeah.
Here from the Valley?
Sonia de la Paz.
Yeah, Gabriela was on there too.
Yeah, Gabriela was on there. Savannah V.
Okay, Savannah. Yeah, she's been here with us. She's awesome.
Angelique from Sweetwater.
Uh-huh.
And then Demi Garcia, Monica Saldivar. And then we're missing one, Aaron.
There's a bunch of them.
Which one of all of them was the one that was like outstanding?
The one that stuck out, like you can tell, like they all have their they all have their thing, right? Especially if they're singing their music, they're comfortable in that. But as either an artist or a fan, you want to see the full package. Who can bring the entertainment aspect of it, not just singing and dancing and all that stuff, or both, or vice versa.
Yeah.
The one I felt brought it personally for me was Savannah, but it makes sense because she's the one that had probably the most experience on that particular stage.
Okay. Yeah, Savannah.
I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree with him.
Shout out to Savannah Motion. All right. She's been on the show before, man. She's really awesome. She came in with Ricky Versetti the first time. He does rap and stuff. So she likes to collaborate, just not Tejano, she'll do the cumbia stuff and the hip hop stuff as well. So, but
she always puts on powerful performances.
Yeah,
always.
You could tell she's got a very strong voice.
She does.
Yeah, but you know what? Gabriela Martinez has a wonderful voice as well, man. She sang here. What song was it that she sang here when we had her?
The Alicia
the Alicia Keys song.
Some people want it. That one?
I think so, yeah. We put a clip up, ladies and gentlemen.
And even with Gabriela, man, like as she's performing more and more, she's getting stronger.
That's what happens,
so,
right?
like you can just,
Yeah, it's like you just got to sharpen the blade.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
That's it. The talent's there.
Absolutely.
Wow. And so that particular tour with the Divas, was it like several cities, or it was just there in
No, it's just that one night.
Okay.
I guess if I want to say the backstory was a lot of the female artists, felt like they weren't being represented, within the industry.
Yeah.
And Jim Luna was one like, all right, well, you know what? I'll put a show together and I'll showcase you guys. And, that was the where the show came from.
So he asked you to put a band together, right?
No, he asked Mario Ortiz.
Okay.
Former musical director, produced for Jay Pettis.
And he called you guys.
Correct.
And put it all together.
Yeah, he got the whole squad. We did like a rehearsal or two, and then we did the show.
Yeah, now you guys do it in your sleep, bro. Right? Right?
Well, we try to make it seem that way,
So Aaron actually, there at the rehearsals, that's whenever Aaron actually figured out that he liked me, because I was quiet the whole time. And you know how divas can be. They can get their little attitudes, man. And so,
that's why they're divas, right? That's where they get the term from.
I would stay quiet, and Aaron and Mario would answer all the questions. And so finally I was like, are they not understanding? So I stepped up and I'm like, do you not understand them? Like, they're asking you this question. They need an answer so we can fix our parts. And that's whenever Aaron was like, yeah, this is my dude. So from there, we exchanged numbers and we actually
went steady.
Yeah.
That's not. Actually, we did a show in Eagle Pass, right? Is that where you helped me?
Oh, that's right.
We did a show in Eagle Pass, man.
backed them up.
Was it at the backyard or Kickapoo or what was it?
Kickapoo.
Oh, really?
So actually, my former drummer, Jeremy Ramos, man, he's still my brother. He has an oil field job, man. West Texas over there, oil field it'll take over your life if you let it.
Yes.
And so he couldn't make this show. And so we hit up Aaron, and Aaron came and filled in like within 15 hours of the show. We called you.
I want to say it was like the gig was on a Friday. I got called like Wednesday night or something like that.
If that early.
And I forgot who I was playing with. I think it was either maybe Ram or Joe or maybe even Jaime, whatever. I was off, and they're like, "Hey, can you fill it in?" I said, "Yeah, just send me the material." And I get this whole 50 songs. Like, really, you're gonna play all these songs? And
Te mandaron el box set y la chingada,
yeah, I got the double disc album.
The four colored disc y la chingada.
Well, I mean, what scared me though was that at this point everybody has this Tejano label on Aaron.
Yeah, this is
and
true.
so I'm like, bro, are you sure you can? I felt like an idiot, bro. Are you sure? Like, is that song cool with you, bro? And he's like, hey man, meet you at the end. And I'm like, meet me at the end. Like, nah, I need to know where we going. And he's like, dude, I got you. And so I was even sketchy myself. I was like, because all I had heard him play was Tejano at this point.
Yeah.
And so I was like.
And so what were you afraid of him not being able to play? The
like norteño stuff that I play, man. Because I grew up playing a bunch of relámpagos.
Yeah, and they like to hit that rim, right?
Yeah,
they hit that rim on the snare.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm like, I don't know about this. But they're like, I had hit up everybody, bro, because I've had Joey Jimenez play with us, Lionel Gonzalez. I've had plenty of drummers play with us, man. That I'm like, this was their forte. And so Aaron, and now I know it's his metal mole too, man. And the dude,
see that's it's funny. I'm not bad for a half breed, right?
Yeah. So what's better for you, norteño or tejano, bro?
Musically speaking, for me, it's more technically challenging to play tejano music than it is, in my personal opinion, to play like conjunto or norteño light.
Conjunto has nothing flashy
and that's the thing. Like, I get it. They all have their styles that you have to appreciate, and you got to understand that coming into whatever gig you're playing. And I attribute that to like all the artists that I play with. Yes, they were Tejano artists, but David Lee doesn't sound like Emilio. Emilio doesn't sound like Ram. Ram doesn't sound like Jay Perez or Marcos Orozco. Like, they all have their own, even though they're all Tejano. They do,
but there's a similarity to them. That's like the San Antonio sound, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
But they do have, it's different.
Yeah, so, you got to blend in to sound like you're that band's drummer. So, if whether it's cover songs or originals, I pride myself on being able to come in and sound like, oh, that's their drummer versus, oh, yeah, he's helping them out. You can tell.
I was freaking out, speaking of conjunto, when you had joined Jaime de Anda. I want to know what happened with that, bro, because everything was really kick-ass and hunky-dory and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're not there no more. But before we go to that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Rody's Country Fried Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Eagle Pass, Texas. We were just talking about Eagle Pass, old-fashioned country cooking since 1985. Look at the fried chicken on there, man. Next time you guys go to Eagle Pass, look at that. Look, it's golden fried chicken, gizzards. The French fries are to die for, man. I mean, it's just fantastic food. That's an old-school food truck. They got a brand-new food truck now. And he's got a playland that he put together for the kids. Look at that, man. And it's right by the Kickapoo, dude. So if you guys go play Kickapoo again, stop by there and pick up a box of chicken. Ask for Rick personally. The guy's going to take care of you guys, man. Grupo Asalto. As a matter of fact, he wants to start having some jamming sessions there and music and maybe some comedy there in that area. But he also said that they acquired a lot of the land next to it. So they're it's going to become
that empty lot.
Pinche Entertainment Center bro. It's going to be awesome. Best fried chicken and gizzards in Texas, Eagle Pass. It is Rody's Country Fried Chicken. Also want to thank Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. You feel sluggish, tired, gain weight, you're looking for a primary care clinic to help improve your quality of life. Let me tell you, if your sex drive has gone out the window, man, it could be that you're low on testosterone. Todo lo que tienen que hacer es llamar al número 1-855-771-1650. Get some testosterone in you and start burning some fat, start gaining some muscle, start waking up with that Woody like you always used to, man. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, it is an incredible thing when you go to Dr. T's. DrT's.com, and they've got IV vitamin infusion. That's a bag full of, an IV that goes into your vein and just pumps the vitamins right in there.
cocktail.
Sermorelin, yeah. Sermorelin is a peptide therapy. That is a fountain of youth. It'll get you to start looking young again. It's incredible. So I want you to call them 1-855-771-1650 or go to drtees.com. Now, we're talking with Aaron. The last time we had Aaron on, we had he was with Jaime de Anda. And I think after what happened is that Aaron was with Ram Herrera, and then Ram's entire band got out and left Ram high and dry.
Wow.
And they went
Wow.
went with Joe Lopez, right? Grupo Mas.
Ooh.
And so we had Ram on the show, and we asked him about it. So let's hear what he says.
All my band went with Joe Lopez.
Yeah. And then from one day to the
but
next, they were saying that.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Was that how was that for you?
let me
Was that a little
explain.
tough for you?
Oh yeah, that was. But you know what?
Did you feel betrayed
No,
and
not
shit
really.
like that, or what?
No, I didn't feel betrayed. I knew what they were doing. I knew they were lying to me. But that's the business we're in.
Yeah,
That's the business we're in.
it is.
And I put it all in God's hands, and I said, God, help me. I know you'll help me. And the next day, I had a band. And I did my shows. I kept on going.
If you got gigs, you're gonna get some people
had
to
gigs.
play.
I-
You know.
There's a lot of people ready to play.
Yeah.
Then now Joe Lopez got rid of all those guys.
And you've played with the best.
And they
dude.
now they want to come with me back. I said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm booked up. I don't need you no more.
Yeah.
Hey, I won't ever need you, basically.
Well, I know the drummer ended up with Jaime de Anda. I think Aaron Holler.
Wow, Aaron Holler, badass drummer like that, we ended up with Jaime de Anda.
Well, he's working with them, you know. So
He ain't gonna last long there.
we'll see. I don't know. I mean, but
Because Jaime don't like him overplaying. Jaime likes to play simple music.
well, it was like
Jaime's music is Jaime's music.
well, when you
And Aaron Holler plays too much shit, he's not gonna last there.
I've noticed that.
He won't last with nobody.
Yeah. So, you know, that was when Ram was on the show, and he was pretty transparent about everything, right?
Right.
And then the next thing I hear is you're not, and I also thought the same thing when you join Jaime de Anda. Conjunto's a whole different animal, right? I mean, it's just about the timing on that, right?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It's a more simplistic, like you're the foundation, just hold it here and stay.
And you like to stay busy on the
Well,
band,
it's not
you know.
necessarily that I like that. It's what does my boss want? You know, Jay Pettis is a very busy band. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on with everybody.
Yeah,
So,
but
and I
it's
was
more-
there for 15 years. So, yeah, I understand. I get the stigma for that.
But Jay's more of a jazzy
Right,
Tejano, so
exactly.
you have more of an opportunity to, you know,
Yes.
experiment and really show off your skills.
Right.
But when it came to Jaime de Anda,
Well, it depends what era you're talking about. See, the 80s, they invented a whole style of conjunto that was brand new to the time. And honestly, the old school conjuntos, when you hear the stories, is they hated chamacos because they were doing too much stuff.
yeah.
Well, when I joined Jaime, you know, it was, hey, what version of the band are you going to focus on? Did you want to focus on your 80s stuff? You know, when it was Juan, Emmanuel, and Chato, everybody, you want that version of the
Yeah,
band?
the un complejo
Yeah,
double
exactly.
bass,
You know,
stuff.
Be real busy.
And-
Or
yeah.
do you want, you know, like the Como Te Llamas Paloma, Pájaro Negro, like we're going to stay there? Obviously, you're going to play your hits, right? So you're going to do all those songs. But,
What did you want?
well, if I had my opinion, well, I want what made me a fan of Chamacos.
Yeah.
So I even had that conversation, you know, when Julian was involved and Jaime was, you know, as a fan, I want what put you on the map, you know. And honestly, like with all due respect, not a lot of younger generation knows that he invented that progressive style of conjunto. They think it was, you know, like Albert Zamora or or Potentes of the world.
It was
Like,
him.
They were the
Jaime
originator.
de Anda, bro.
Exactly. Like just look on YouTube, Sunken Gardens 80s, then the 80s on Johnny Canals with Chamacos. You'll hear a lot of stuff on there that ended up coming out later from those other bands.
Yep.
So, you know, I get it, you know, he cycled through musicians and the style changed and, you know, he became a lot more simplistic, a lot more, you know, traditional conjunto. And I can
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I played it that way as well. It wasn't like I.
So
you
what
know,
did he
went
tell
in
you
and
when
did-
you asked him, what do you want, the old or the new?
He says, you know, he goes, no, he goes, honestly, you know, it's been quite some time since I've had somebody I'm comfortable with that can play it that way. And I took that as a compliment, you know, like he
play the way of the
way that Manuel played, you know,
Manuel.
real busy, a lot of the, you know, the
I
bass
love
drum
that
stuff,
stuff,
like
bro.
real with a lot of power
Yeah,
and,
I
and
love
all
that
that stuff.
stuff,
So I'm
bro.
like, cool, you know, you're in my wheelhouse, right? I can do that stuff for you, but obviously I appreciated, you know, the you know, música favorita and what is it?
The
rest
real
of it?
simple
Yeah,
shit,
the
right,
simple
bro?
stuff, like Like Como Te Llamas Paloma Pájaro Negro, like, okay, yeah, of course I'm gonna play that like the original, but, you know, because obviously, you know, it's simple, but we played a lot more of the 80s stuff from the 1P era when I was in the band.
And Stevie Vavages was
another monster bajo player, which I recruited, you know, because we had met when I was playing with Bobby.
See.
So, you know, that's where it developed that relationship. He lives with Max Baca. He's a real good friend of mine. I used to play with Tex Maniacs, and I recruited him, you know. It says, hey, how was everything with Bobby? I know you know, are you guys working? Because we've got work over here. Would you be interested in playing with Jaime?
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, it's one of his idols. So, you know, it was a simple transition. Obviously, we gave him respect. Hey, you got to fill out your month or, you know, 3-4 weeks, and you'll come over. So we covered those in the interim, but as soon as he jumped over, we hit the ground running. And then, you know, that song we put out with the collaboration with AB, you know, that was me and Stevie were on that as well. So
yeah. So what happened? I mean, how long were you with Jaime? About a year?
Probably a little bit, maybe a little bit more than that. Just kind of just went south, you know. Not being, I mean, obviously there's this whole Chamacos Jaime feud, and you hear both sides of it. And I'm good friends with Ruben and you know, Jocelyn and Chato, and I've always known Jaime, and he was always, you know, nice, and you know, you could approach him and stuff like that. He seemed easygoing.
See.
And when I joined the band, obviously there's the honeymoon phase and all that good stuff. So everything seemed fine. You get his version of the story. That's plausible.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand that.
Did you get out, or did he fire you?
We kind of departed ways. They had a falling out with Julian.
Okay, just management.
Yeah, Julian Johnson was the manager. He's the one that kind of like, it originally started out, I was backing up the band. Kind of like in the situation that Jordan mentioned, where I sat in for Jeremy Ramos for the Asalto gig.
Yeah.
It was Jorge was playing with Jaime at the time, and he couldn't make some dates or whatever was going on. Hey, can you fill these dates in? And I had just got out of Joe. I left Joe, so I was available. So I did the few dates that they had, and like, hey, well, would you be interested in joining the band? I says, well, let's talk. You know, I've known Julian for years. You know, back when he was managing David Farias, you know, Tropa F.
Yeah. Oh, he's got history in music.
Yeah. So me and him, you know each other. Come to find out, we shared the same exact birthday. So, you know, we had, you know, icebreakers to kind of hit it off, you know.
So Jaime got rid of him, and then that kind of started.
Yeah, it kind of opened my eyes.
It was like a domino effect with you, or what?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it opened my eyes to the situation. You know, there's some things that are going on in that camp that is, you know, their privacy and respectful to them that they're dealing with, and I just didn't want to deal with that on a personal perspective. And then once the management left, basically once the guy that was kind of funding the operation, you know, and he was the executive producer, he was the one that was coming up with music ideas. He was the one that had the idea for the AB collaboration. He funded all that.
Yeah.
Basically, once the money left, we're like, well, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. You know what I mean? Without trying to be disrespectful, it's just the situation was had gone sour.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of in our best interest, you know, kind of step away.
You know, man, I had the guys from Los Chamacos here, and you know, I think a lot, most of them are ready to just bury the hatchet, man.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's over, you know?
Right.
And shit like this has been happening in the music industry since the beginning of the music industry.
Right.
You know? So it's just the kind of drama that's, you know, that goes with being in bands and being a musician and keeping bands together. And each band member has their own personal woman or wife or husband to deal with. And, you know, plus you got to pay the bills. Plus, you know, it starts becoming like, okay, we got to make this work because we got to survive.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just.
And sometimes, you know, sometimes the extracurriculars can take precedence over the band itself and how often the band works. And, well, you know,
extracurriculars as in,
you know, just things that take you away from music. You know, they don't become your passion, the thing that drives you to be who you were when you started. You know, you lose that fire, and okay, then you kind of just see the writing on the wall that maybe it's your time to move on.
But it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how they do it after 45. 50
it,
years of being in the music, still getting up there, still having that fire.
It's impressive to see, you know, the guys that have just been doing it forever, you know, before I was even born, and they're still doing it just as good as they did back then.
And they'll do it till the day they die. I mean, I've known people that died on stage, bro. You know, Joe Martinez, you know, from Hometown Boys.
Yeah, speaking of the clip you just played, like when the Ram still sounds like Ram. Man, obviously, you know, people age, you know, plus or minus a few, whatever, you know, but you listen to him sing, he sounds like Ram. You know, And then I get it, he made some comments that could kind of rile the feathers and make you want to be vindictive and make some statements about, oh no, you said this and all that. It's water under the bridge.
No, man.
I wish him well.
Yeah.
But I do know, I remember that because you already know everybody wants to, be chismosos about, hey, did you hear what he said? Did you see this? Check this out.
Well, I mean, you know what? It's not bad in a way because as long as people are conversing about you, there's, right?
As long as people are occupying space and you're occupying space in their head, you're doing something, whether it's good or bad.
Believe it or
That's
not,
true.
some of these national artists and global artists, they create their own drama.
No, exactly. Let's just say there's
so
no such
they
thing as bad publicity. All but bad publicity is good publicity or something like that.
And when somebody's watching, that's a promoter that sees, okay, los chamacos this and Jaime this, and man, imagine if we'd bring them all together,
Right.
And but then everybody has to be in agreement. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, no,
I don't know. Maybe it'll happen one day or it won't. But the chamaco deal getting back together. But I think pretty much everybody's already gone past it, right? I mean,
And it seems like that because we've had, Julie and I work together on other side projects. I've got my studio, Art of Holler Music. I'm a producer as well as musician, mix master. Anything you need on the studio side, I cover that. So, going back, me and Julian have a relationship as an executive producer, and me being the producer, musical, arranger. We have a relationship where like the whole El Tiempo thing is our brainchild, and so we have back dialogue. And he says, "Hey, I've talked to such and such, and so and so, and these are what they're saying." And I'm not gonna put cheeseman out there, but the whole point is, like you said, to reiterate the fact that there's people willing to bury the hatchet. It's just a matter of everybody getting together and kind of swallowing, putting their pride aside, and
it's just all work.
Exactly.
It's all about work, man. It's all about keeping the name alive, keeping it happening, and relevancy.
Right.
Because then you disappear into the out of relevancy, and it's over.
That's the thing about drama and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool to be the talk of the day for today, but what are you going to talk about tomorrow? Because it's going to get replaced with whatever tomorrow's drama is.
But no, still, I mean, it's still interesting to find out what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a week later,
you already know. Like when time passes, if it was fresh, I'll be honest, I could be like upset and say comments that are hurtful because it's fresh.
Yeah,
you gotta let the water under the bridge, start building up. You gotta let the wound heal.
Would you play with Jaime again?
Oh yeah,
cool.
And I would play with Ram again. Like I just saw Ram in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
and like I said, going back to that hashtag PBT episode, like I knew there was some liquid courage involved in there,
dude. So it was fun having Ram.
But then again, like
it was great.
Aside from all that, Ram's always been a laugher, happy-go-lucky, like wants to be, it's all about
he's a survivor,
having a good time and laughing about it,
losing his whole band in one night, was that gonna phase him? Hell no. He had a band the next day.
Yeah, the show will go on.
Fucking Ram, bro. So let's go to the chat zone, man. I'm sure some people are commenting on there. How many people we got on watching, man?
340.
340. All right. Welcome everybody, and thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you enjoy what you're watching, subscribe to it. And that way we put clips on every night, and then on Wednesday nights we're live. So tell all your friends and tell everybody on social media, hashtag PVT. What do we got, Chaz?
Well, considering we started late, it's a good crowd, man, and they're active. A lot of towns, a lot of places we haven't heard from. Olga Rodriguez from Snyder, Texas. Oscar Nino from Houston. Javier Ayala from Florida. And then Alejandro Aguilar said he saw you guys at a place called Far West. And he said you guys sounded phenomenal. And so he said he wanted to recommend everybody in the chat, hey, check him out, go see him. Mark Romero is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Frank Aguilera is in Washington State. Do you know him? Frank Aguilera? He said that he give you guys a shout out.
We were recently in Washington State.
Washington State, yeah.
Yeah.
Tripas is in Midland.
Shout out to Tripas.
Yeah, and so I have a question here from good old trusty Sal in the house. And this is going out to Jordan. So, and you kind of answered it, but, here's a little bit more specifically. Very, very academic. Sal in the house, he said, what analytical concept?
Those words are too big already.
You're such a nerd.
He's working on his master's. So he said, hey,
puro pinche El Paso education.
I know. His education is more better. So Jordan, he goes, what analytical concept does Holler bring to Grupo Asalto? So what is you bringing to the table that's just a little bit different?
Man, we still haven't figured it out yet. I'm just playing, man. I mean, Aaron in himself, he brings the experience. Of course, he's like Rock said, he's been around the moon, man. He knows what's going on, but it's just a fact of bringing that experience. One thing Aaron has done a lot, and I will commend him for it, is helping me grow in the industry. Because I'm a very responsive person. I respond to things very quickly, whether it's positive or negative. And he's helped me grow in that aspect.
Como dices, anger management y la chingada.
It's not really anger management, man. It's just I'm a very
I'm a responsive. Te doy en la madre si dices algo, cabrón.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to speak my mind, man. And so
you're transparent.
There you go. That's exact word, man.
That's a nice way to say it. Yeah.
He's really helped me grow with that, along with Yvette, man. Yvette Cantu has been our manager since January.
She's staying busy, bro.
And she does, man. Yeah. And she has us everywhere. And them too, man. They just they've helped me keep my eye on the prize and keep my brain where it needs to be, and my mental health stable, man. They've really helped me push forward in a lot of things. I lost my dad last year to suicide. And,
man, I'm sorry to hear about that, bro. That's traumatic.
Our condolences.
It was. Thank you. And so Aaron honestly has came in a lot, man, and he's helped me just keep a straight head on. But even on the production side, like he said, he has Art of Holler. He's a music arrangement. We work a lot together because I have a little studio there at my house, and I send him stuff, and he's like, "Nah, we're not gonna do it like that. We're gonna do it like this. So try to turn that around or do that pasada backwards or whatever."
Yeah.
So on the musical arrangement side of it, and not to mention, we just added Anthony Perez to our team, which everybody knows him, Grammy Award winner Anthony Perez. And so our three brains working together along with Joe and Juan and everybody, just when we're in the van together, it's insane. Because we have just came together. Aaron's brought a different mindset. Anthony's brought a different mindset, and it's completely changed the band and how we see things. Because for the whole first year and a half, everybody called us Baby Signal. Because
hey, that's a good nickname to have, bro.
Well, it depends who you ask.
Yeah.
I mean, Signal's a very successful band.
Exactly. They're tremendous.
Well, that was my band growing up, bro.
Yeah,
I would go meet Jesse and Checo and Rich and the guys, man.
Consistency, those guys.
Yeah, man. Even me and Jacob had a really good relationship.
Yeah.
And so anytime they were the West Texas area, I was there. And so of course,
you were a fan.
Man, I was, man, and I want to say 13 years old the first time Jesse Turner pulled me up on stage to play accordion with him.
Wow.
And so from that moment on, we just kicked it off, man. We had a little spell where I was a little smart ass with Jesse, and things kind of went bad for us for a little bit. And then, you were
responsive to Jesse.
I was,
yeah,
bro. Like
right?
It was one of those things, man. And
what happened? I need to know what happened, bro. I mean, because I don't think Jesse's that aggressive or anything like that. He's a nice guy, bro.
He's not, man. Jesse's actually a really great guy, man. And here lately, Jesse has been a great person for me to turn to as far as my music industry. He's been helping me out.
Spirituality, bro. I mean, after what you went through with your dad, bro, I mean, you have to find some sort of higher power to help you manage your emotions. You know what I mean?
It was crazy, man. Jesse was one of the first people that reached out to me whenever he read on Facebook about my dad.
Yeah.
And of course, my emotions were everywhere. With my family, I'm the baby of the family, but I'm kind of the higher up in the family. I'm hey, we're being here for Thanksgiving. We're doing this for Christmas. We're gonna go here for a family vacation.
Yeah.
And so when my dad did what he did, man, it was hard for me because I knew there was no time for me to mourn, because I had to start figuring out where the family that was coming into town was going to stay. I had to figure out what casket he wanted. I had to figure out what money we had. I had to figure out the insurance. And, and so my other brother, J-Rod, he plays for La Calma. He lives here in San Antonio.
Oh, that's a good band too,
and
bro.
So, he had a 5-hour drive. And so I'm here worried about him. I mean, you just got told your dad died and you got to drive 5 hours home.
Wow.
And so there was a lot on my plate, man.
Yeah.
And
But hey, man, you know what? God doesn't put you through anything you can't get through, bro.
Absolutely.
And
amen.
you know what? I always tell people, when you're stressing over what you got to do, it's just a waste of stress because you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to end up doing it anyway.
Absolutely.
And then after it's done, you're going to say, why was I stressing about this? This is what I'm called to do. I'm going to I'm going to tackle it head on, and I'm going to get it done.
Well, long story short, man, I mean, Jesse Turner was the one that called me, and he said, hey, Carnal, slow down, calm down.
There you go.
He's like, take 5 minutes off and go cry. He's like, I know you want to. He's like, you don't have to be a superhero right now. He's like, slow down. He's like, if you need anything, let me know. He's like, but slow down, I got you.
Yeah.
And it was weird, man. Be honest with you, Rock, like he's the last person in the world I thought would have called me.
Yeah.
And for me to pick up my phone and I seen the area code number and I was like, I'm not answering that right now. But something told me to answer it, and it was him.
Yeah. And something told him to reach out to you.
Absolutely, man.
It just works and he's been through tragedy, bro.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, what he went through with his son, I don't know, man. That's very traumatic as well,
Absolutely.
And then you with your father, bro. So, I mean, it was good to have that person that was able to reach out to you and, talk to you at a moment that you needed it, bro.
It was, man. And because at that moment, like I felt like my whole world was crumbling down because like I said, I mean, my whole life was my dad. We own a landscaping business that myself and my brother still own that was my dad's. And that's where we worked our whole life growing up, from 5 years old all the way to adult life. I left for a few years to go run an oil field company and then came back, of course, because my dad died, but we did that with him the whole time. We did Mi Gusto. I played Mi Gusto since I was 4 years old with my dad playing accordion, so I literally lost the biggest piece of me. I lost my best friend.
Shocking.
And even though, like, you know how Spanish people can be, man. We grow up on tough love. It's, bro, I was 10 years old paying my dad $50 a week to live at his house. He paid us to work at the landscaping company. But hey, where's your $50? You got to pay rent this month. You got to pay me, Hito. Come on.
Yeah.
And my whole life I'm wondering, like, dude, why am I doing this? Like, this sucks. Like, my friends don't have to do this. But he was just teaching me the value of a dollar, teaching me the value of life. And I'm grateful for that stuff, man.
How long ago has it been since your dad passed, man?
March 2nd, 2022.
Okay, so it's been a year and a half almost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Exactly a year and a half.
I'm sorry about your dad, bro. And, I don't know why he would have done something like that, but, it truly affects the family big time, man. And, glad you were able to get through it and you're getting through it,
It is. And that's because of what he did. We lead our tour, You Are Love tour. We have this tour because we want to help people that are having mental health issues. We want to help people that are having suicidal thoughts, because I don't want anybody to ever feel what I felt that day, because that's the worst, and up to now, my siblings struggle because they sit there. The question why is never going to leave our heads, because that's the question that's always going to be there, is why did he do what he did? But at this point, I've told my siblings not to sound in a trashy way, but it doesn't matter no more. What matters now is moving forward and being an example to someone and making sure they don't do that. And then, one thing that we also push forward to, man, is bullying, because bullying is such a huge thing in our school systems that it's insane, man. There's a town called Roscoe that's about 30 miles from Snyder, and a kid did the same thing there in the school, bro, in the school in front of all the kids. And those are just things that these parents got to speak out about, so that way these things aren't happening in our school systems. And so we do our part as Asalto, and we talk to these kids, and it's hard, Rock. Like when we're at our shows and parents come up to hug us and they're like, my kid's thinking about doing this to himself, or he's thinking about this.
Yeah.
And that stuff's hard on us, man. But we rode through everything, and
you're being utilized as a tool, bro.
Absolutely,
to
man. And
reach people.
It's
That's
crazy
doing,
because you don't always find people like Aaron and Anthony and Yvette and Ray, Joe. Of course, my brother Will.
Seasoned people in the industry, man.
That are willing to push forward with you on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Aaron has my back to the max. Anthony has my back. Ray and Yvette have my back.
That's
and it's
good.
just like all these seasoned musicians, they care. They care too. So it's a lot for us, man. And that's what, we always put it out there like, hey, if every life saved is better than $1 made
Yeah.
at our shows. And that's the way we live, man. I mean, if we can go to a show and save someone's life, I'd rather save a life than make $1.
And besides, the music is so therapeutic for you, man. You know, I mean, when you're on stage, you know, it's a no pain zone, man. You know, when
Absolutely.
you're performing, right?
At first it was, man. It was a pain, and I didn't want to continue. I didn't want to play music anymore because that was my connection. And so I didn't want to play no more. But not only that, like, I was never even a front singer. Like, I've always sang backup vocals, segundas. And of course, there was always been people like, hey, well, you're not a singer, Way. You don't need to be singing. Just play accordion. And so I would do that. Like, I don't have, like, you can ask Aaron, bro. I have no problem ever backing up. I want to do what's best for the band, and I always just want to do what's best for everybody in the room. I'm a team player, bro. Just put me on the court, and you tell me where you want me. I got you.
That's the way to do it.
And so that's the best thing, honestly, about Asalto is that there's no egos, man. Like, we all love each other, and we're all just want to be better. And so it's a good thing to have as a band.
Yeah. This is a song, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Espero. You need to put it on your playlist. Save it on your phone. You got YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. And just tonight, put it on play, darken your phone, and just let it run, loop all night long. So these guys can wake up in the morning and there'll be like 1 million streams from everybody. Just letting it loop, and just lower the volume and you can go to sleep. And then in the morning you wake up and you'll see and you stream the song so many times and right.
And then shameless
Absolutely.
plug, check out the official music video.
Yeah. Check out the video. It's on YouTube as well. And follow them on Instagram, right? And you can follow them on Facebook as well.
TikTok.
Who handles all that? Your management?
I handle a lot of it myself, very poorly, but I handle it, man.
It takes a lot of freaking time and effort,
It's a lot
bro.
of work, and so we have someone that we're putting in that position that's going to handle that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm doing a poor job at it.
Yeah. So make sure and check them out whenever they're performing close to you as well. And if you want to book them, who do they contact? Julian, or do they go to the Instagram account and they just message you, right?
Yvette?
Yeah,
Yvette
they can do
Cantu?
that. They can call Yvette at 210-232-4835, or they can call Ray at 210-718-6616.
210-232-2825.
4835.
Oh, chinga, todo perdido yo, no ve?
That's Yvette.
4835. I'm going to write it down because that way people might want to ask, about it. Oh, here's a card. I got it.
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Now I need my readers. All right.
Ay,
So,
Dios.
chingao. So, ladies and gentlemen, Grupo Asalto right here with us on hashtag PVT. So, do we have any more questions there on the chat zone, Chaz?
Yeah, just for this one's for Aaron. How would you compare your drumming to Joey Jams? What's the similar differences? Or
Who's saying that? Who's asking that?
it was so far. I didn't get
there's
to
a lot. There's just going.
I mean, there's a lot of. I didn't get to write it down.
As
but-
far as styles are concerned, I mean, it's kind of apples and oranges, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Who do you think's the best drummer, Aaron Holler or Joey Jams?
Well, no, it
That's
just said
a hell of a question.
Yeah, it just
bro.
said how would you compare?
How would you compare?
and contrast? Like, what are you similar? What is difference between the two?
I mean, we've got different backgrounds, we've got different influences, similarities. We both play Spanish style music.
Yeah,
And you both are busy on the drums.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're we've got chops, I guess you could say. It's all our approach to the instrument is what makes us different.
and
You
who
know.
are you obsessed with as far as a drummer? I think Joey was always Tommy Lee, right?
Tommy Lee.
Yeah,
So-
you asked me that question. I wasn't obsessed with one particular drummer, but
Yeah.
there's not just one.
Yeah,
If I had to name like top 5, John Bonham, Neil Peart, Aaron Spears, Chris Coleman, some of the newer cats, Vinnie Paul,
Spartacus from the Wonders.
Spartacus from the Oneaters.
The Oneaters.
How about Charlie Benanti, bro?
Oh,
He's
of course,
with
from
Pantera right
Pantera.
now.
Yeah, and original
Dude's
Anthrax.
fucking awesome, bro.
Joey Jordison, speaking of Joey's.
Yeah, the guy from Slipknot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also Mauro from Whiskey D.
Yeah. Salud pa Mauro.
Shout out, Mauro.
All right.
My ex-student.
One of my favorite drummers is my cousin Ringo Garza from Los Lonely Boys.
Orale, yeah.
Just watching that dude play with one stick and playing congas over here is just a whole nother world.
That whole band was incredible. Out of San Angelo.
Yeah, shout out to the primos.
Y vienen de conjunto también ellos.
Yes, sir.
El papá de ellos tenía un conjunto band, and they had that big hit with Heaven, and I like that song Hollywood, man.
So my grandma actually sang in that band. They were called Conjunto Falcon.
Yeah.
From Snyder. My grandma actually sang with them.
Wow, bro.
That's my family.
Snyder, Texas. We've been through there, man. We played in Abilene. We played at Potosi Live.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's a nice place, bro.
Absolutely. It
Whiskey
sure
D
is.
was there, and then we were supposed to play at a bike rally in Snyder, and it didn't happen after all. We ended up playing in just down the street in Brownfield, Texas. So, but we'd like to go check out bands. This past Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, we went to Tacos y Tequilas Fest on South Padre Island. Y pues, you know, I mean, we try to go places whenever we don't have anything to do. Lo llevamos la cuñada, el cuñado. Y pues, we went to the McAllen, the South Padre Island Convention Center. And they had a Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson tribute. And I had to film them because I'm fans of those. I like Waylon. My dog's Waylon and Willie, right? I have Waylon's tattoo on my arm here. So I went to go check it out. ¿Qué onda con este pinche tribute? Y la chica, esto, lo otro. And when they came on, it blew me away, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. We got some video of them.
A long time forgotten, the dreams that just fell by the way. Good life being promised, ain't what she's living today. Well, she never complains about the bad times or the bad things she's done. Just talks about the good times they've had and all the good times to come. She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time and fame. She loves giving spot by the way, don't understand.
So Jimmy Buffett, like, he just passed away last week, right?
Yeah.
And interesting, you know, you guys know who Jimmy Buffett is, right? The guy from Margaritaville.
Yeah, Margaritaville.
Do you know that guy, like, for years, he was like the highest grossing tour. He would beat out the Rolling Stones. He'd beat out all the major, like, the Rolling Stone magazine had at the end of the year, the highest grossing tours. Jimmy Buffett was like number one all the time, dude.
Rock, do you know the name of all of his fans? They had a name.
Man, it's
They were called the Parrot Heads.
the Parrot Heads.
The
And
that's
they
right.
would follow him from town to town,
Yeah.
just like the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, the Deadheads.
The Deadheads.
Yeah.
I had another question for these two gentlemen from Gone Cantu,
the
number
Kiss Army.
one. Gone
God.
Cantu. For each of you, think about this. All right, you have 2 tickets, each of you, to see any concert that you want. So now you can get rid of your bucket list. Like, okay, done.
Dead or alive?
Who are you guys gonna pick? Each of you to see who?
You spin me round, dead
Well,
or alive.
Well, I saw original Kiss lineup.
Oh,
So Led Zeppelin.
I thought he was
The
talking about the
concert.
band Dead or
No.
Alive. You spin me round, baby, round, like a record, baby. Like, why in the world would you
I
want to
was
see
like-
that?
I was like, what?
Last ticket.
Aaron was pre-transgender.
He was asking Dead or Alive as far as the artist.
I also thought, so
That's how perceptive I am, bro.
you guys don't know who Dead or Alive is, the band, right?
Of course, I'm from the 80s.
Right, yeah, the eye patch and the
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, wow, this guy's
Dude,
ahead
that
of-
song still rocks.
It's at every '80s
Oh
party.
my God.
There's
Yeah,
like-
because of
And
because of the Chipmunks movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 20 80s bars around here, bro.
Yeah.
And they all, like 80s is the big thing at bars now, right? And then they play that song, people go fucking nuts, man. So, what did you say? Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, if I hadn't seen the original Kiss lineup, I saw them in '96 at Tiger Stadium. Original lineup with Peter, Chris, Ace Frehley. Anyways, Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin, all right.
What about you, bro?
Jordan?
Jordan?
Selena.
Selena, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you, Jordan?
30.
30. Wow. So how old were you when Selena passed away? You were 2 years old, 3 years old?
Yeah.
You were born
Yes,
in
sir.
93?
Yes, sir.
Wow, dude.
Pollito.
Yes, sir.
That's chavalito, carnal. All right. What else was I going to say? Oh, so I was talking about freaking Margaritaville, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Parrot heads.
Yeah, the Parrot Heads and Jimmy Buffett. So Waylon and Willie sing the Margaritaville. And I was like, I wonder how Waylon's going to sound on this song, this Waylon tribute guy.
Okay.
Put it on, babe. Check it out.
Don't know the reason I stay here all season. Nothing to show but this brand new tattoo. But it's a real beauty, all Mexican cutie. How I got here, I haven't a clue. Maybe you do. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know, hell, this was all Willie Nelson's fault.
Dude, I would
legit
I
right
would
there.
imagine that's what it would sound like if you'd see, Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson back in the day.
And I liked that we could hear Raleigh laughing. Man, Raleigh was having a great.
I was having a really good
She was
time.
having her own show.
I had to carry her to the car, bro.
He did.
Just kidding.
Oh
What?
my God! Stop.
Hey, Rock, did they do Just the Good Old Boys? Did
Yeah,
they do that
Yes,
one?
they
they
did
did.
that one. Yeah. No, I highly recommend it. I was like, man, how much do these guys charge? I want to put them at a party, backyard party and shit, bring my dad and shit.
It's a good idea.
And then we went to this place called Longboards on South Padre Island. There was a guy named El Chavalon. He does Tejano and variety music.
Oh, okay.
He's local here, but he's been in the music industry for a while. So we went there. We didn't know he was there. We went there because we had some fans from Chicago, some PVT fans that are promoters in Elgin, I think it is, right, babe? They're in the Chicago area, so they make conjunto dances up there. And so they were down, and we were supposed to meet up, and then Sunday I posted that I'm there at South Padre Island, so he texts me, hey, we're here at Longboards.
Esteban.
So Esteban, you know
Perales.
Esteban? Yeah, Esteban Perales, bro, that's him. And so we went to
I was thinking.
yeah, we went to Longboards, and we got to check him out, bro. We showed up and hung out with him. We got some, there he is. That's him and his wife. And boy, man, they were in Milwaukee
So
a while
awesome.
back, a couple of weeks ago. They might have seen you guys there, but look at the place was hopping, dude. It was really a lot of fun at Longboards there on South Padre Island. And I want to thank Esteban for inviting us out there and for the T-shirts that he sent us. También we
Yes.
wore them last week. So, and he's going to have a show in Chicago, in the Chicago area. We've got the commercial here. Check it out.
Saturday, September 9th, Midwest Conjunto Promotions brings you another Conjunto Get Down with David Flores y los Tremendos Alacranes. Corpus Christi's very own David Flores y los Tremendos Alacranes. Además, special guests from Baytown, Mikey Sagreo of Enlace, and playing your favorite jams, DJ Deluxe and DJ Tex-Mex Mike with MC Eddie Rios. Join us September 9th at the Eagles Club, 147 North 19th Avenue in Melrose Park, Illinois. Tickets only $35 all night. Doors open at 8 p.m. Party till 2 in the morning. David Flores y los Tremendos Alacranes with special guest Mikey Sagreo of Enlace. It's another Midwest Conjunto Promotions event. We'll see you there.
You're grito.
We're cracking up with that grito at the very end.
Rock was he started hemorrhaging.
Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, starting on Thursday, Cobras Bar and Grill, 2005 West Nolana, McAllen, It's the best Tejano bar in town. In the Rio Grande Valley, I don't even think there's another Tejano bar in the Rio Grande Valley, but here in McAllen, we've got Cobras Bar and Grill. And this Thursday, they have Noche Frontera. So you can go by. DJ Curly is there, and he's the one that's playing all the music. Pero you'll hear music de Mas, Selena, all the great bands, Intocable, Frontera, everybody. They're going to be playing all that music. And then on Friday night, we're going to have a PVT table there with Marcos Orozco. He will be there Friday night. We already reserved a table for about 20 because we're going to have a party there at Cobra. So make sure if you do go by to our table and say hi, and let's take some selfies and pictures, and let's do all kinds of cool stuff. On Saturday, they've got Rustic Rose. They are an amazing band that plays country, Tejano. These kids are very talented. September 9th, Saturday night. You can go by any Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're having a blast there at Cobras. And want to thank everybody there. And drink specials and delicious appetizers, taquitos, bottle service available to reserve a table. Contact them on Instagram at Cobras Bar and Grill. Órale, esto, vámonos recio. Se va a poner bueno. And then, so we're doing that Friday night. Now we're gonna go check out Rob Schneider. Have y'all know who Rob Schneider is?
Comedian.
Yeah, he's gonna be in town. So I bought a couple of tickets to go check it out.
You gonna go see Deuce Bigelow?
Yeah, man. And then that's right. He was Deuce Bigelow.
Yes, he was. I'd forgotten.
Yeah, I remember him on all the Adam Sandler movies. Yeah. You can do
Waterboy.
Yeah, Waterboy and stuff. Also want to thank Chorizo de H&H. They are an amazing brand of chorizo, the best, the most lean, that doesn't spray grease on you when you're cooking it. Cuando estás haciendo las papas con huevo y chorizo y todo eso, vende aquellas. You mix it up. Mira nomás, te haces un taquito de papa con chorizo. Mira la tortillita como está, just brown, just perfectly. Y de ahí le echas una salsita, papá, y sústame one time. Mira nomás, chorizo de H&H. Te dan ganas, te saborea la boca, te sale saliva porque, hijo de eso, me comienzo a cantar como el de Tropical Panamá. But, man, I'm going to have to make some of that after we finish the show today. All right. Chorizo de H&H at every H-E-B, almost every H-E-B. They're in Brownsville, San Benito, Harlingen, Mercedes, Westlaco, El Sedana, San Juan, Far, Edinburgh. And if it's not at your H-E-B, you need to tell the market manager or the manager, store manager, you need to bring chorizo de H&H to this H-E-B because I want to buy it. Órale. So we've got Asalto here, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see, I've got Aaron, Holler, and Jordan. Jordan, you do the accordion and you're the singer of the band también?
Yes, sir.
Órale. Is this you singing? Oye.
Hey, listen to that segunda voice.
That's you, bro?
No. Yes.
No, it is.
If you see the video, you can really see it.
Soy como signo, ¿verdad, babe? Hey, bro, let me tell you, it sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound great.
Thank you.
And you can tell the influencer, man. And then you got the perfect drummer there, bro. Because the signal drummer stays busy as well, doesn't he? Right? And he does a lot of extra stuff, and instead of just keeping the beat, you know what I mean?
Definitely bringing new flavors, man.
Yeah.
And Aaron's actually working on our new single right now, and we're excited for that one to come out. Gonna have some new sounds on it and some different flavors.
Yeah,
coming out of Art of Holler.
Make sure to follow them, ladies and gentlemen, Asalto, and make sure to follow them on social media. And they've got some awesome merch. Is the merch only available at the shows, or can we order them online, or can we send you cash apps, or what can we do with that?
Man. So actually, any of our social medias you can message us on, and we can get you merch. And of course, at all of our shows. And one thing about us, we're always coming out with new stuff. Like we never stop because, you get a lot of repeat customers, man. They always want new stuff. So that hat you have on right now is our newest one out right now.
Dude, it's badass, bro.
And so
it looks good. I like the color.
Awesome.
I like the freaking
fit
camo. The camo, it looks really good.
Shout out to my boy Noe Cepeda. Cepeda's Printing.
Simon. So let me give you some names, man. See what you guys. I did this with Gary Hobbs. I just mentioned names of people, artists, whatever, and you guys let me know what you think. All right. So
And if you want to be negative, that's your prerogative.
Sign the waiver.
Yeah, if you want to pull a
Riley
ram,
Brown.
a ram, like. And another thing.
Ain't gonna make it nowhere.
Ram's so funny, bro. I mean, that clip that I put earlier.
He doesn't hold back.
yeah, that's
I know, bro. No, I let madre, bro.
Well, if they want to do it, that's on them.
Oh man, my wife was like, "You're gonna put that clip?" Well, yeah, we said it. I mean,
It's public record.
yeah. My wife's like, she gets like, "Hey, it's just public record. It's just we're gonna see what we got to give Aaron a chance to answer at least, right?"
And Ram was in a sound mind when he said it. I mean,
Yeah.
very obvious.
Yeah, brought to you by Absolute.
Yeah. that belonged to Buff Bagwell, that bottle. I still have it up here. It's still here, bro. It's
Yeah,
still,
I'm gonna get a DNA
Yeah, it
sample
is.
off there before we leave.
He's in the Buff Bagwell PVT
Careful.
wing.
yeah, Buff Bagwell.
It still got Ram Babas in it. Look at it.
It had like this much when Ram got it. Like, right? But this was Buff Bagwell's, man. I had to get him a bottle, a joint, and some freaking
I think
some
he's at
Coors.
Coors specifically.
And I left him with Charlie, and I went home, and then he showed up. But if you watch, that's another guy.
And we got him.
Buff Bagwell was like totally inebriated on the show.
He was going to go to sleep at Rock's house, and we were carrying him to the bed. Like, oh, come on, Buff. And we can, okay, lie down. And his head hit the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
But then I thought, nah, he's a wrestler. He's used to it.
Did you start counting? 1, 2.
Screw it. I gave him a bulldog.
You know, dude, the guy was very inebriated, man. It was sad to see a guy that I saw like
On national television.
like one of the biggest, baddest, and
Right.
great entertainer in wrestling, and to see what he had come to, And when he was sitting at the table, he called his dad because some check didn't pass or some bounce, and there was no money in the damn account or something like that.
Yeah.
And he told me straight up, I've never been this worse off in my entire life. And I
terrible.
felt bad for him, bro. But I guess that's why he needed to numb all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
understand.
it's tough, man, and I heard he changed his life
He
around.
did.
It-
I've seen videos.
He sounds way more sober, and that was, by the way, my greatest birthday gift ever. That day was
Yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah.
Remember? It
Yeah.
was, and he has come around, and we gave him a Whataburger shake of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah.
And it blew his mind.
Yeah.
We don't have this in Georgia,
Yeah,
Marietta.
yeah, dude, and he went to bed like at 3 a.m, and I woke him up at 5 o'clock to take him to the freaking airport.
Oh, wow.
And he was in my bathroom cutting like 2-minute long farts, dude. Like you could hear him all the way to the kitchen, dude.
I heard him.
Puro
I live on 10th Street. I heard him on 10th Street. I fell out of the bed.
Puro pinche absolute vodka fart, vato bruto, vato. Yeah.
And Whataburger.
Yeah, Whataburger. But I wish Buff would come back, bro. That'd be awesome.
He might.
Yeah.
You never know.
In a sober state.
Yes.
You what? I came here before.
I've never met you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
First name, Joe Lopez.
Hang on, what are we doing again?
Just, any stories
Comment.
with Joe or
Comment.
any comments on Joe
ideas,
Lopez?
Like that was again being a fan of the Tejano music, being the guy that's playing the drums to the guy that sang the song you've heard so many times. It's another one of those pinch me moments. Our first rehearsal with Joe was like, pinch me because it's like you hear the voice, from the
Crazy,
first verse.
right?
I had that same response with Ram, with Bobby, with Jay. Like it's always when you grow up listening, you've been in cover bands playing these songs, and then you play it the first time in the band, and then you hear the voice.
And
You
he
know what I mean?
sounds just like the CD and shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I really wish I could get Joe in here, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
You got a better chance of winning the lottery.
a fan message, dude, a fan messaged me and said, "Hey, I spoke with Sandra, I think is her name,
Yes,
right? The
yes.
manager, her manager. I spoke with Sandra, and she said that I asked her when Joe would go to PVT, and she said never. And I'm like, okay. I told what I told him. I told him, tell her to come on the show.
That's the thing,
I
like-
mean, I understand. I mean, Joe needs to be careful, right? I mean, you know, he's I don't know if he's still got parole or whatever. What's going
honestly,
on with
like
him.
when I left the band, like as far as his, status is concerned, I couldn't tell you since,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So who knows?
So I was like, she can come on the show. I mean, I'm sure we could talk about a lot of cool stuff, So Sandra, I mean, if you want to be on hashtag PVT, give us a message. And, we understand that Joe, you won't let Joe on the show, or he, it'd be a little,
And then who knows, as time goes by, things change, situations change. You never know.
Bro, I honestly think.
The saying goes, you can never say never.
If I get.
It's a long time.
Dude, if me and Joe, we get into a room together, I mean, it'll be an amazing story. It'll be an amazing interview, man. Because his history, dude.
Oh no, it speaks for itself. He's been doing it since the the 60s and
since he was a kid. I mean,
and then backstory, like my wife's from Brownsville. My mother-in-law, that's his cousin, and he remembers my mother-in-law and her husband Desi Nakma. Shout out to the Nakira family in Brownsville, Texas. He has the joke that I'm the one that set them up, and they've been high school sweethearts ever since. They've been together, still together to this day.
Yeah. All right, AB Quintanilla.
You know him personally. I don't.
These are all my questions.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you.
I've never met these people personally on a personal level. I mean, I've seen them, been around them. I was around AB in Vegas last year, but it was never more than a hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? Picture, boom, done.
Oh, do you know AB pretty good?
Yeah, we did the song with Jaime.
That's right.
I forgot what it was called, but either way, I worked hand in hand with him. Gipper, God rest his soul. I
know, man.
There's an unfortunate situation. I don't mean to deter from the question, but I'm getting stories that memories pop into my head.
Yeah, that's why I bring up names. So
he passed. So Gipper, we worked together hand in hand on that single with Jaime.
Yeah,
and everything from the mix to producing Jaime's vocals and whatever. He was just a sweetheart, man. Give you the shirt off his back. Just developed a great relationship with Gipper and going to when he passed away of COVID.
I know, dude. I was shocked, bro.
And here's the crazy part. Me and him basically got the same strain of COVID because we played in La Feria at Silverado. And AB and Gipper stepped in, and I couldn't make that drive home. I literally had to text my wife and say, hey, I'm not going to make it. I pulled over at a rest area, picnic area, and all right, I'm going to take a 30-minute nap. I woke up 4 hours later.
Wow.
Almost like a blackout. Anyways, me and Gipper both got COVID, that same strain, that same time. We were talking to each other, how we were doing, and unfortunately, he didn't make it, and I did, but it was that memory sticks in my head because from 1 minute to the next, here we are messaging each other. Then
he's gone, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't. I'm still like, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. So that was an unfortunate. But going back to AB, phenomenal producer. You listen to his stories, his personal stories that he shares about his sister and the music that they created. It's still fresh to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the only guy, but to get the title of producer, you have to have a heavy hand in the project.
I remember seeing those Selena albums back in the day, and you turn it to the back, and it'd be the name of the song. Right. And then on the side, you'd see the song, the people.
Songwriters, producers, arrangers.
And AB it's just AB Quintanilla the third, AB Quintanilla, the whole thing.
And then once his sister passes, reinventing himself with the Sombra family tree of the Kumi Kings. A lot of people don't know that's a hodgepodge of not only Selena DNA but Sombra DNA.
Yeah.
So they merged that together and created a whole new song. Yes, it was cumbia, but it was fresh at the time.
It was crazy, dude.
Phenomenal producers.
Yeah, and visionary.
Yeah,
I mean, because you put something together and he can see something, and he does it.
Historically speaking, like you think of Tejano, you think of the rancheras. Cumbias were like hit or miss. Even the other artists, like your David Lee's and your Jays and Mosses of the world. Yeah, they had cumbias, but that wasn't their forte.
Sí.
Selena made that. Reyes Locos, like we're a cumbia band type thing, and it hit, in Texas. So they have the ability to see what's gonna hit around the corner before it actually becomes a thing.
Yeah, man, they were the innovators.
Yeah,
Bobby Pulido,
amazing vocalist.
He just won the Latin Grammy, right?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like these questions are on mine. Because I was
you're playing for all these.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to develop personal relationships with all these artists and have personal stories, but to be a part of their organization, consummate professional. straightforward. You know, he's just a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing him when he was barely starting out, bro, back when he was young, a kid. And Desvelado, that song was like, even today, bro, it's like, it's one of those timeless classics.
Exactly.
That he's survived on that song since he started. I mean, since the beginning.
Yeah, and
that song's like one of those songs like Hotel California, you know what I mean? That the Eagles just kept the Eagles busy for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, he doesn't get the credit as what he was able to do as he negotiated his own contract, you know, because he's able to be a college graduate. He's an educated person. Like, besides being just the singer and the, you know, easy on the eyes for the ladies, like he's an intellectual. Like, he's a smart man. That's why I say just a consummate professional, because everything he does is just, you know, by the book.
Yeah. Let me see here. Jay Perez.
Again.
They
don't call him the voice for a reason.
You don't know Jay? Do you know Jay?
I do know Jay, man. We actually, so the first time I actually even interacted with Jay was, of course, the night that I met him, but more so, we opened up for Jay in our first year of having Asalto. And I was really amazed, man. Jay went up to the sound engineer while we were on stage, and he's like, "Hey, what's up with this?" And the sound guy's telling me this story. He's like, "Hey, you know, what's your relationship to Jay?" I said, "Dude, really don't know the guy, man." I said, "He's a good vocalist. I mean, that's all I know." He's like, "Hey, well, he was kind of chewing my ass, bro, while y'all were playing. That your vocal didn't have any effects and that the bass didn't sound right." And I was like, "Well, he's probably just telling you because he wants to make sure you have it right for them." He's like, "Nah, bro, he was adamant about you guys sounding good." And so, you know, for someone like Jay to go up and do that to what a lot of people consider us a local band, you know, spoke volumes, man, because to have Jay Perez sitting out there telling a sound engineer like, "Hey, you need to do this, that his accordion doesn't sound right, fix his accordion and put some effects on his vocals and do this and do that." Like, for Jay to step out there and do that was cool, man, because, you know, I don't think a lot of artists would have done that stuff for their opening band.
Yeah.
You know, so it was
maybe one day I'll have Jay here too.
Yeah, I mean, never say never. He just did a podcast, and he always said, "I'll never do podcasts."
Yeah, he was on Bumper. He was on Bumper.
But I mean, obviously, besides stating the obvious of they don't call him the voice, you know, for a reason. You know, I guess one thing to know from having, you know, 15 years of experience of being in his band.
15 years, dude.
Yeah, I'm his longest tenured drummer ever in that band.
I didn't even realize
from
that.
beginning to end. Like, I was in between 13 and 15 years. I do the math. But I guess to give more insight, it'd be misunderstood. And to hit on that word, what I mean by misunderstood is, yeah, he can come across as abrasive. He may come across
arrogant
in a negative context. But if you know him, you know that he wears his heart on his shoulder. He wears his emotions on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's handed out, you know, ACs to, you know, people that had broken ACs or dogs on the side of the road that didn't want him to get run over. Or, you don't understand how sincere and genuine he can be, you know, once you actually
the
get to know
music
him.
industry can make you that.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have to have a strong leather type skin, you know,
Yeah,
and not be able to get run over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
even then, people put whatever labels they want on artists to begin with.
And I know the feeling because I've had, you know, for going back to our story, where I was misunderstood, you know, maybe because, again, you're comfortable around your surroundings and who you think you're around, that you can kind of let your guard and come across as not politically correct, and somebody can overhear it in the earshot and be like, "Hey, you know what a jerk this person is," or "I hate this guy," you know, he thinks he's full of it. But that's one thing I can say is misunderstood, because he's actually a sincere and caring person. You know, he's willing to help those that need help. And that's one thing I've always appreciated of him, you know, off the road.
Shout out to Jay. All right. Let's see. We got a couple more. Gary Hobbs, man. He was here. We did a list of names for him as well. And did you play with Gary too?
Yeah, I feel like we're going over my
your resume.
Your resume there in Holler.
They find out
Wow, that's incredible.
you logged into my LinkedIn or whatever.
Man, feature resume, bruto, you know.
What kind
Gary
of shoes
Hobbs,
do you wear on stage?
Consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's been around since the 80s, and he's still doing it today. He's been able to put out hit after hit, consistency. And not only that, he's a writer. He is a musician. He's wrote his own hits, and he's continued to do it to this day. So, again, he's just a epitome of consistency.
He just signed with Freddie Records too, man.
Yeah.
He came with Mark.
And he's got a new song that's out right now. It's
Yeah.
doing pretty good.
Hey,
There's a
so
new cumbia that's
Gary
out, so.
even has a podcast, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. We talked about it here on the show, and I said, "Hey, man, if you ever want me to go by and be on your podcast or whatever," but I'm not sure. I don't remember what he said. He does it every once in a while because he gets busy with the music
man.
and
So
stuff
we
like that.
we opened up. We actually got the opportunity to open up for Gary at Fiesta de los Reyes, our first year. And he actually talked about us for a good while on his podcast.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Gary, man. Thank you. These guys, Gary, Ram, Jay, all these guys that we grew up listening to, they don't know how much it means to someone like me whenever you hear that they're talking about you and they're talking good.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to all these guys that you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Even Sandra's reached out to Yvette before and said, "Hey, your boys." And Yvette's like, "Yeah, my boys." She's like, "They're good. They're really good." And so she's like, "Joe's willing to work with him whenever." And so just to hear things like that coming from who I consider legends in our industry, it's just, it means a lot to us. And I'm very grateful for that stuff.
Awesome,
So
bro.
all them artists that you're naming, man, it's, we've worked with pretty much every single one of them as Asalto. And we've never had issue, even going back to Bobby's camp, they treated us so well. And it's, because sometimes, I won't lie, sometimes you get to places and the headliners don't touch my stuff. Don't move my stuff. Don't do this. And everybody that you've named, it's just like, "Nah, guys, there's our stuff, man. Whatever y'all need to do." So shout out to all those guys, man, for keeping the Tejano industry, where it needs to be as far as us working together as a team.
All right. Another name, Oscar de la Rosa. La
They
Mafia.
broke the international barrier. I mean, not necessarily like as a
Legend.
band. I mean, yeah, Selena did too, but she was an artist, in my opinion. And then Mafia did it as a band. So,
Have you all ever met? Have you played with them at all, or?
oh yeah,
I haven't played with them. I was with them not long ago at a show with Signal. I went to go see Signal, AJ, and La Mafia. And Oscar's just Oscar, man, an amazing person. And, he's very professional at what he does and hasn't changed a bit. And so...
yeah, no, they're all great guys from Oscar, Armando, David. They're and
I freak out with those guys. The
yeah,
music.
I've
dude.
shared the stage with those
Absolutely.
guys plenty of times, and they've always been, hey, whatever you need, They've never been those, like we refer to, the arrogant, cocky type as far as like, don't touch our stage, this is us, or whatever may happen with management side. No, it's whatever, we don't know. But as artists and musicians that are sharing the stage, it's always, and going down to production, my engineers and road crew, they've always been, hey, what do you guys need? What can we do for you? Make the show as easy as possible.
Awesome. Ricky Munoz. Intocable.
Oh, man. I wish I could be him. That's the thing right there.
Hey, well, that's the
vision, man. That's my dude right there.
That's the goal, right? That's
There you
the
go.
goal. But
That's the goal.
What are your thoughts on Ricky?
Well, to me, I guess you could say OG. They're the GOAT. What I mean by that is,
Are they the big? That's a question that I was gonna ask him.
to me, I mean, again, I could be wrong. I'm not a
It's
music
opinion.
expert,
It's an
but my
opinion.
opinion is they created that style of the norteño light or whatever you want to call it. Like, they're the originators of that, and then following when they've come out, then okay, you're solely those, and all
But
your
I
other
want to
styles.
ask him if he thinks that Intocable is the greatest norteño band ever. I mean, you might say Ramon Ayala. Even with Ramon Ayala, I mean, I think
see, and
Intocable probably is the biggest ever in history.
No,
right?
of course, but I don't
Relámpagos.
consider them the same style.
But it's norteño, right? It's
Okay, but look,
norteño.
see, so
Norteño,
you gotta,
norteño light. That's
there
the
you
whole
go.
thing is the
That's
subgenres.
That's your issue with our industry. So I got a quick question because this is the way I see things. Okay, who's your favorite conjunto band, and what do you put them in as far as conjunto? What does a conjunto band have? An accordion, a bajo, a bass, and drums. Right? Is that what you classify a conjunto band?
Yeah.
This is the argument that I have with quite a bit of people because I feel like it's misunderstood.
You know what makes the conjunto and the norteño difference? I think it's the congas, isn't it? The bongos. right?
That's where my question is leading up to because I think that everything's misunderstood. Like for me, growing up, your Tejano was guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, and then you go into Chicano where you have horns, There you go, right?
Well, that's the thing. It was called Chicano music before the word Tejano ever existed.
Yeah.
So in its simplest form, correct me if I'm wrong, Tejano just means from Texas, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So technically, any artist that plays
using
music
it
in
as a
Texas
noun.
is Tejano.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
using
wanna
it as
get-
a noun.
as far as the
Intocable could be
basic.
passed as Tejano, but they're norteño.
Right, and that's another thing
But
too.
the thing
They've
about-
been able to. I don't mean to cut you off, but
Nah.
they've been able to ride both lanes of maintaining a fan base that is hardcore Tejano while also gaining the Mexican market and
Exactly.
the norteños. They've been able to float that line.
Or Ramon Ayala, too.
I was just gonna
Exactly.
say,
Ramon
yeah,
Ayala,
exactly.
Michael
Yeah.
Salgado's had the same success. Solido's had the same
Yeah,
success.
but is Intocable the greatest in history? In
Yo,
the
but
history
what
of
I'm
norteño?
saying
as
is-
far as recent
and as
history,
far as adding just light to norteño, it's still norteño.
right? Yeah, it's a subgenre.
Oh,
Yeah, but you
Overall
still got to go back and
norteño.
think of bands like Pesado, La Firma.
Right.
You
but then
got-
you go again. They're not.
Are they as big as
from
Intocable?
Texas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but are they even as big as Intocable?
Yeah, no,
Pesado's
they're
huge.
huge.
They're there.
Have they reached the pinnacles of Intocable? I mean, I don't know. Has Intocable's reached the highest, hasn't he?
It just depends because
I don't know, because if you want to talk about Frontera,
So that's the thing because
Oh, that's another band, right?
there's a lot of Spanish speakers in United States, but you got an entire country speaking Spanish. So therefore, if you want to go pure numbers, well, Bronco's one of the biggest ever. Bukis is one of the biggest ever. Pesado's one of the biggest ever because they've got an entire
Temerarios.
nation of followers versus, we got, at the end of the day, the United States is English first,
Yeah. I think you could argue that they could be the biggest.
They're definitely one of
Yeah,
the most
absolutely.
recent
The
biggest
success.
that ever-
Absolutely, like they've had an influence on me. Like that's
And the thing about it with Frontera, I mean, Intocable did this without all the internet stuff. You know,
Right.
they just built it up, song after song after song.
and
just
I've
quality
definitely even put Duelo right under that.
no, there you go, another one.
There you go.
All right.
Right here
One
in
more
McAllen.
name, bro. One more name. Jaime de Anda, bro.
Creator. He created a conjunto style that didn't exist, and he got the flack for it as a young artist by the traditional conjunto artists, and then it became a genre. It became a style that was accepted for future bands. I don't think without a Jaime de Anda y Los Chamacos, you wouldn't have an accepted Potente, you wouldn't have an accepted Albert Zamora and all the other progressive conjuntos that came after him.
Yeah. Do Jordan? Do you like the style that Jaime de Anda has?
Oh,
has
man,
he been
I'm
an
a-
inspiration to you before?
I'm huge. I'm huge Jaime de Anda, Albert Zamora, Ruben Vela. I'm a huge Ruben Naranjo fan.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have Ricky Naranjo on the show.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're gonna come over in November.
My biggest one, bro, was Jimmy Garcia.
Jimmy got to see him.
I was very young when he died, but I cried like a baby.
I was gonna
because-
ask. That was one of the questions. Who was better, Jimmy Garcia, or the hometown boy, Martinez?
Joe Martinez.
Joe Martinez or Jimmy? Joe or Jimmy? I was Joe or Jimmy. Which one of those accordion? Who was the better accordion player?
I don't know,
or the
man, because
best?
their style was so different. Like it was conjunto,
But it was kind of
different.
similar, dude.
It was.
I mean, I listened to Hometown Boys with Joe Martinez and Joe Martinez's, solo stuff.
Yeah.
And then I listened to, the Garcia brothers, and I'm like, wow, there's a similarity, but who's the better one, right? That's a
That's
good
a hard
question.
choice, man. For
Yeah,
me,
it is,
for
bro.
me, I can't really clarify
Yeah,
that
then-
as an answer because
Then as a non-accordion instrumentalist, like you listen to, Joe wasn't the lead singer, and
Jimmy was.
Jimmy
Why he
was.
could do all that while he's singing.
right, so depends. Like,
But that was the same thing. That was the same thing with Jaime and Albert.
exactly.
I had a hard time whenever people would ask me, "Who do you like more, Jaime or Albert?"
Yeah.
that's a hard question.
I love talking about this stuff, bro.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
one of
talking
those
about
things, like,
music and artists
you
and
can
all that.
debate about it till the sun rises.
bro. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Asalto here with us tonight. We want to thank Las Maquinitas de Falcon. Let me tell you, if you haven't been to Las Maquinitas de Falcon, you want to make a weekend of it because it's in Falcon, Texas, right northwest of Roma in Starr County. And that's where you can go and win big. And they have like all kinds of vans. If you take a van full of people, they'll take care of you as well. They've got an awesome amount of slots, and it's just an amazing place. They got some botana, un pollito, un brisket. También hacen unos platitos de brisket que están brutos. Mira nomás que bárbaro. Cállate, shut up. Open every day, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Matches $10 at opening, $20 at 7:30 p.m., $20 at 11 p.m. Promotional weekends only is $50 at 11 p.m. and holidays. 11 p.m. I bet it's hopping at 11 p.m., baby. The adult daycares get half chicken on the house lunch plates and $5 towards their $10 match. Call for reservations. Myrna Primo is her name. She was here last week, and we had a fun time with her. And this is a great place right here, Las Maquinitas de Falcon Game Room in Falcon, Texas, all right? All right, so, guys, man, I had a blast with you guys, man. And,
likewise. Thank you for having us.
When Julian told me about you guys, and then I saw you in a video with Gabriela, I was like, man, first of all, you all sounded great on the video.
Thank you.
And then I found out that Julian was with you guys, and so he said, "You want to put him on the show?" I'll go, "Hell yeah, bring him." It's like a little mini super group here, right? That's what it is, isn't it? I mean,
it's definitely good.
Guys that have been in
the like disrespect to Jordan, Juan, or Joe, but the addition of Anthony is, we're now the old guys in the band, and that's a first where not only you bring a body of experience, but you actually are one of the older members in the band.
You're the mentor.
Yeah.
The what is it? Who were the ones from Shazam? The Eternals or the Immortals? Or remember Shazam? He would go and it'd be cartoon gods.
Yeah, I think it was the Immortals.
The Elders.
Was it the Elders?
It was the Elders. Yeah, you're considered an elder now.
Yeah, because Anthony Perez. He unfortunately couldn't make it, but he's got a whole body of knowledge as well. Like,
give each band member a shout out. I know it's you and Jordan. Who's the rest of the band, man?
Well, shoot, man! Shout out to Anthony Perez. He's on bass and vocals.
Orale.
Joe Luis Garza. He's on bajo and vocals. And then my oldest brother, Juan, he does our animación and percussions. And then, of course, we have this guy who plays drums, Mr. Aaron Holler.
Aaron Holler.
And then, of course, shout out to our management, Yvette and Ray Cantu. Of course, a lot of people in the industry know who they are. And so, like I said, it's just all the experience that's came into Asalto in the past.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of this year has been insane.
I got a message today. I think that your guys are playing at the Hispanic Festival in Michigan.
Yes, someone was asking when their next shows are.
Yeah, you're going to be in Michigan. When is that?
That's going to be the week of the 22nd and 23rd. So
this month.
Yeah, so I get to go home. I don't know if you remember. I'm from
Pontiac, Michigan. The guy's name's Juan Vallejo. Shout out to Juan Vallejo. He's originally from the Valley, but he lives in Michigan.
Okay.
And his family.
We're going to be in Lansing, Michigan on September 22nd, I believe. And then we're going to be in Gibsonville, Ohio, the 23rd.
Gibsonburg, Ohio.
Sorry, I've never been there.
Great, man. Man, awesome. Asalto, ladies and gentlemen, follow them on. You put all your gigs on Instagram, right? That your upcoming gigs and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Follow them on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Follow us as well, because we'll be following them, and then we share their stuff on our stories. So you can follow us. Official Grupo Asalto is their moniker on Instagram, and then we're at #PVT. You can follow us, and we put a lot of the stuff from the show on there. And then you can follow me at RocknRollJames, where I just, I'm taking pictures and video everywhere I go and just having fun. And it's, get to taking pictures with fans and stuff, and I put them up. And then you can follow me on TikTok, where I put video clips of all kinds of stuff at RocknRollJames 2020. Man, I can't keeping up with all this bullshit, right, bro? You gotta
be a full-time job.
It's a full-time gig, dude. Right? I don't understand what you're talking about, Jordan.
You're your own animador.
Yeah. I am, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we have death metal band the Panteon here. They got a new freaking.
Nice.
I'm telling you, these guys from Brownsville, look them up. Panteon, Panteon. They've been here before, and the last time they were here, we had a blast with them. So they'll be with us next Wednesday. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for showing up.
Thank you.
And you all, man. Just keep pushing forward, man. My condolences once again on your father. And you've got a number here too, bro, if you ever need to talk to somebody, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
brother.
bro. And we're here for you. Doors open all the time. Aaron, it's always a pleasure having you, man.
Oh, likewise. Thank you for the
At
invite.
least once a year, right? We got to,
Yes, we have
because
to.
he'll have like stories or, you know.
Who knows? I might be somewhere else.
Yeah.
At least he knows where he stands.
Yeah. So
He's
what
straight up with it.
Yeah, we'll be here like in 9 months. So what happened with Asalto, bro?
I got tired of Jordan stopping to eat at every place.
I got tired of using tracks.
Hey, Rock, we're gonna ask him. So, why did you join Ram all over again? How about the love?
Hey, I could actually wear that flag. I've never been the same place twice, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So well, now you can maybe make a little. You know.
I've already made my rounds.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, I was looking at the comments and I saw it like 3 or 4 times. They asked, "Hey, does Jordan let Aaron wear Jordans on stage?" Pues sí. Jordan for Jordan.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Follow us on, hit subscribe, like, and share. Okay, subscribe for sure. All right, everybody wave at the cameras and say good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Asústame
God bless
one
you guys.
time.
Hi, Mom. Good night.
Eso.
Love you.
Grupo Asalto, papá.
Love you guys.
Love you
Grupo
too,
Asalto.
Becca.